Alright, so boom. I've been on this earth for 30 years, and there's been a number of different things that have come across my desk, popped up on my news feed that I saw that was absolutely ridiculous. But in my entire life, this right here got to be in the top 3 dumbest concepts I've ever seen.
Gosh, I'm out of breath. We made it. Woo! I don't know how to woo very good. That's fair.
The fuck you mean? At least we're outside. I'm outside. You're not even real. If you guys don't know what it is that you just watched, evidently there's a company called Friend that is creating what would be considered a AI generated friend that lives inside of a necklace connected by way of Bluetooth. So when you now press it, it picks up on audio, which I'm pretty sure it already picks it up whether you press it or not, and then it sends a message back to you by way of text. Do you recognize that there are humans who are outside for free, but for $99 plus tax?
Shut up and take my money.
You can get a friend that'll be with you at all times. Do you recognize how stupid this is? Release yourself out of this genjutsu. Humans is outside for free. You know how pathetic it's got to be to have somebody who's gonna be dependent on this in order to have some form of goddamn interaction. Now, people are saying, well, what about those who struggle with loneliness? What about the elderly who don't have anybody who's there for them? Is that who's being marketed inside of the commercial?
Come on. Oh, let's go.
Are you serious? Come on, man. I hate this game.
Take notes, baby.
Oh man, you guys suck.
Bro, you look like the back
Let's
of the
go. Let's go.
Dude, what? How did you do that?
I know the effects are crazy. It's dank. I could eat one of these every day. Oh. Sorry, I got you messy.
Yum. You're not even real. If the food was nasty and I dropped on top of you and I ain't say shit, would you be able to identify if it was tasty or not? Only individuals I'm happen to see inside this commercial. Gen Z, millennials up this motherfucker. Not even young enough to be, what is it after Gen Z? Generation Alpha, but not a single senior citizen anywhere to be seen. I don't see no Abe Simpsons up this motherfucker. It's nothing but young people.
It's really nice up here. How'd you find this place?
I don't know. I just kind of like to come up here to be by myself. I've never brought anybody else. I mean, besides her.
Besides her, who's the other her? There's only one woman who's on that roof, unless Mans decides to identify as a lady. I don't see no other goddamn ladies who's on the goddamn roof.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
I've never brought anybody else. I mean, besides her.
She goes everywhere with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess I must be doing something right then.
I guess so. We'll see.
When we were kids and we was growing up, we all knew of the kid who had an imaginary friend. And there was one of 3 things. Either you had a magnificent imagination, but as time progressed forward, you knew that imaginary friend wasn't real. You were schizophrenic or you was crazy. There's individuals who I can promise you are deep into adulthood who gonna get this, not for the shits and giggles, not for the content purposes, but because they legitimately need a friend. And rather than go and interact with other human beings and attempt to go and find somebody who you can commune with or possibly build a friendship with, you gonna rely on technology. It's like we ain't watch iRobot. Please return to your home. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, iRobot, it was an actual robot. What you think this gonna lead towards? I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but let's be real. If this just so happens to be a booming success, what do you think they're gonna do next? For an added subscription by a monthly payment of $35 per month, you can now have the AI friend, where it leads from just a necklace to a human robot.
No, sir. Not me.
Now, conspiracy theorist portion aside, let's just dive a little bit deeper into this friend situation, right? Now, granted, it's only available on iOS. I believe it will be released in Q1, right? So if you happen to have an Android and you were interested in having a friend, finally you was going to have yourself a friend after paying $100, guess what? You don't qualify.
It's over. You lose.
Furthermore, it has to operate by way of not only Bluetooth, but it needs and requires an internet connection in order to interact with you. So guess what? If you happen to go outside and your friend just so happens to not be charged, or maybe your phone just so happens to die, guess what? It's just you and your shadow. And unfortunately, that shadow that you was born with, it doesn't talk back to you.
Damn you. No, it's not true.
Think about that for a second. Let's just say you mess around and you don't pay your phone bill. They drop your data connection. Now, all of a sudden, you got to rely on Wi-Fi, but unfortunately, you in a location that the Wi-Fi is incredibly spotty, or maybe you happen to not be able to identify somewhere that got Wi-Fi. That means you now have no friends by way of circumstance. Do you recognize how sad that is? It's not that difficult to go outside and talk to people. Now, granted, not everybody you talk to is gonna mess around and be somebody who you're compatible with to become a friend. But that doesn't mean you just completely check out and you want some, I'm going to depend on technology to create this. This makes no sense. Furthermore, why pay $100 for this? You could get on Discords, on social media for free. All in all, I would hope that this was some form of rage baiting kind of post, a concept just to see what people's reaction would be, or perhaps it's a trailer for an impending television show or movie. But unfortunately, it's real. In fact, they've raised over $2 million, but spent 1.8 on just the domain name alone. Whoever owned friend.com before, this is the best cash out situation you've probably ever seen in your life.
It should have been me, not him. It's not fair.
Mans got paid, and I think initially, straight out the gate, this company gonna mess around and make money that is gonna do catastrophic, cataclysmic, unknown amounts of damage to the generation who just so happens to dive so heavily into this particular kind of product. Because again, it's really not that difficult to just go outside and interact with people. I'm not saying that it's gonna go good, but that doesn't mean and guarantee that things are always going to go bad. Just go and talk to people. It's really not that hard. Here's a suggestion. If you happen to have something that you like, something that you frequent, some sort of hobby, activity, television show, book, video game, whatever the interest just so happens to be, Google where there is a focus group or where there's a location that these individuals just so happen to commune. You can just go. Don't even have to feel the pressure to interact. Just be in the environment of the same kinds of individuals who like the same stuff that you do. And naturally, you'll find yourself coming together. There'll be things that bring opportunities for you to go and interact.
Message.
But what about the increase in isolation around the globe and the epidemic of loneliness? Go outside and touch grass. Under no circumstances should you have to resort to this. It's not as if they're marketing and advertising that somebody is doing something like this in a third world, or maybe you just so happen to be in an incredibly rural area deep inside the countryside where you ain't got no doggone neighbors. They in the city. Mans was playing video games with his friends inside of a house. Rather than interact with them, he on some, let me press my chest, and talk to the shadows. Makes no sense. Shorty's on a date on a roof, but also needing to send messages back to an AI-generated creature. Fam, we've fallen too far, and this has got to stop. Whoever came up with this concept, from a financial point of view, if you're trying to make a cash grab, a great idea. Dumbasses are gonna go and buy it. But from a human point of view, put your motherfucking head back down, stupid.
Get the fuck out of here.
I appreciate you watching the entire video. Feel free to hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Furthermore, hit that subscribe if you hadn't already. YouTube acknowledged me with 100,000 subscribers, but they've given me nothing since. Help me get to 1 million so I can put it up on the wall. It's up there by itself.